Okay, hello ladies, how are you? I am really thrilled to present to you some of my business secrets, but at the end of the day, I put together a presentation of what I wish I knew when I had first started my business, things that I have learned throughout, and I have really been diligent at working. I've had a coach basically since the time I was 14, and really looking at people who have already established businesses and multi-million dollar businesses of what I want to create. And I'm always asking them for support and how they did it, and really figuring out we do not need to reinvent the wheel. So, how can we continue learning from one another? So, I want to pass on that information to you as well. So, hopefully, you can learn from what I've learned, and then we can continue to grow faster and help more people. Because the thing that I love about this is I want to be able to help you help other people, and then we can just continue to create more love, peace, and service in the world. So I'm going to get into the rest of the presentation, and feel free to ask questions as we go along. So the most important thing is you have a story. Your experiences, life lessons, everything that you have experienced to this point has created your journey, your message, and your story. So getting clear of what that message is part of your journey in launching your business. And knowing that how you articulate your message will continue to help other people. I believe that the most successful businesses and the best businesses help others. And so there are people out there waiting for you, waiting for your story, waiting for what you have to offer. And so much of this and creating your story, I'm going to get into that a little bit later as some tips to create your story and brand yourself and help yourself communicate your message and your experience to help others. But so much about this is your business can only ever be as big as you are. So using our past experiences, learning from our past experiences, and continuing to grow through our entrepreneurial journey is such a gift to yourself and all of those that you will service. I wish so much of the entrepreneurial world is still very masculine dominated. And we're always talking about like hustle, 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 go, go, go. And I really want within this presentation and through my continued message is to continue sharing how us as women can continue to tap into our own selves, bring femininity into business, and and continue to serve others through that process. But really continuing to focus on our internal growth is so important, because like I said, your business can only ever be as big as you are. So we're continuously evolving. And if you have not launched your business already and are looking to launch your business, I am telling you, I wish someone told me that when I launched my business, every single insecurity, fear, doubt, uncertainty, it magnifies. We can hide a lot of this stuff when we're working other jobs, depending on what they are. Maybe this isn't the case for you, but when I started launching my own business and really jumping into my entrepreneurial journey, all of those fears and insecurities were magnified. So I believe that we have a responsibility as entrepreneurs to address those insecurities so that we can continue to be our best self and serve others. And like I said, really being of service. So as we go through, I'm going to give you little tips to do, whether it be journaling homework or building your business strategy, but really looking at how am I truly helping others? How can I be of service of others to others? And every morning as part of my morning routine, I literally ask myself, how can I help today? How can I be of service today? Because so much of my struggles as an entrepreneur in the beginning, I would wake up feeling so anxious and overwhelmed, thinking, oh my gosh, like, what do I have to do to be successful today? And it was so much, I put so much pressure on myself. So just by opening that up a little bit and really remembering we are here to be of service to others and being proud to talk about money and the growth of our business. And this is tied because if we build multi-million dollar businesses, that means we have served that many more people. So I am now proud to say I want to build a multi-million dollar business because that means I am helping other women and I've helped that many more people along my journey. And so the best project you'll ever work on is you. I will mention this throughout the entire presentation of just really bringing it back to building your own routines, your own morning routines, and making sure that as we continue to grow our business, we're not forgetting to grow ourselves. Because oftentimes we get so wrapped up in the business, money, whatever it is, once we start hiring staff, that we tend to forget about ourselves and our own well-being. But my own journey all the time, my mantra is inner peace. No person, no business, no experience is worth giving up my inner peace. And so my morning routine, I start out with getting into alignment, finding my inner peace, raising my vibration and my energy to a place where I can work more efficiently and better throughout my day. I do not believe that business has to be aggressive. It doesn't have to be pushy and hustle. That word, it just continues to resonate in the entrepreneurial world. I believe that as a woman, I want to tap into my femininity. I believe in flow. I believe in ease, and I want my business to reflect that. So my routines for myself in my morning and throughout my day also reflect that of ease and flow, because I want everything to percolate through my business so that it is easy and flows, and I can teach others to do the same. And so I often talk about this as part of my entrepreneurial journey. Is when I launched my business, I also entered the mental Olympics, and every day taking so seriously my mental growth. And so I put this in just so you can also, if you want to use the term, go for it. But training for the mental Olympics was probably the best thing I ever did for myself and my business. And if you want to chat more about what this actually meant, I did a webinar this past week on hacking your mind to help with anxiety, fear, overwhelm, stress, all of that jazz. And it was called the 10 Steps to Clarity, Peace, and Managing Your Emotions. So I can share that with you as well. And this goes back to what I had said earlier of when we launch our business, all of this stuff, like this emotion on her face, was me, is still me sometimes. And so it is so normal. I want you to know that you are not alone on your entrepreneurial journey. These down days and this growth is so intense and so real. So don't feel like it's you, because there are going to be so many things throughout your entrepreneurial journey that are going to make you doubt who you are and what you're doing. And I just want you to know that it's so normal. And that's part of our growth to getting there. Because if you are not where you want to be yet, it is because you are not yet the person you need to be in order to get there. So embrace every experience, embrace every emotion as a lesson of growth in order for you to become that CEO of that multi-million-dollar business, should that be a goal for you. And so one of the key questions that I asked myself when building a business was, what kind of lifestyle do I want? So many entrepreneurs just end up creating additional businesses for themselves. And instead of working 40 hours a week for corporate, they end up working 80 hours a week for yourself. And what I want to encourage you to do when building your business strategy is really look at, what kind of lifestyle do I want to create for myself? And create your job ideally to fit that lifestyle. For me personally, I love to travel. I love to work from anywhere. I want to meet people all over the world. I want to experience different cultures. To me, freedom and flexibility and peace is so important to me. So when building my business, I wanted to reflect that. Additionally, once we move from a traditional corporate structure or work structure, 9 to 5, whatever you want to call it, going into our entrepreneurial journey sometimes takes a shift, because now instead of working per hour and trading our time for money, we need to now start thinking about, how can I create something that works without me so that I have residual income, so that I'm creating something once, getting paid multiple times? How do I scale my business and reach more people without working more hours? So this really becomes a critical part when I work with clients, to help them to strategize their business so that they can accurately predict their revenue streams and make sure that it doesn't overwhelm themselves. Because oftentimes entrepreneurs will get to a point where they're still doing everything and then they end up in burnout and exhaustion. So really making sure that we structure this so that you are creating the empire that you want without sacrificing your lifestyle. Now, throughout your journey, so many people, your friends, your family, all of these things will shift. So I have definitely had to make sacrifices for my business in my social life, family life, personal life, all that jazz. Those were things that I decided to do. I don't know, and this can be a different discussion. I don't know 100% that balance exists. I don't want you to put too much pressure on yourself. I just believe at different points in our lives, we have different priorities. So for example, right now, my priority is my personal relationship, my romantic relationship with my partner, my business, and cultivating really important friendships. Not a lot of people, but those really important relationships in my life. And so I kind of sacrificed some of my social life for that, but that's okay. And within that, honestly, if you haven't launched your business yet, or you're even moving into your next stage, every time my business has gotten to a new phase and a new growth phase, I have often lost friends, and my relationships have definitely changed. So I want you to know throughout this process, if this has not happened to you, or if it has, you can let me know in the chat box if you have lost friends throughout your entrepreneurial journey. This is very real. As you continue to evolve, not all of your friends will evolve with you. So there are many tools and techniques that we can use to make this easier for us. But I definitely wanted to touch on this in this presentation today so that you know that you're not alone. And as you grow, your friend circle just continues to grow too. And as women, we are so nourishing and so loving. And for me, this was a very hard thing to do, is let go of past friends as we continue to evolve, because I still love them, but it didn't mean that I needed to have relationships with them at this current time. And so really just letting go and allowing everything to evolve, because if our friends, family, and social circle continue to stay consistent, they will hold you back. And this may not be for everyone, but it is a very real topic that I think especially women need to talk about, because this continues to change as we continue to have more society pressures on us with families, work, and all of the things that we're supposed to do through marriage and having children. I know we have a lot of society pressures. And so talking about this balance and these shifts as we continue to be entrepreneurs is such an important topic that we can continue talking about at a later time. So give me a little note if any of you ladies have already felt this in your entrepreneurial journey. And so I mentioned this already, but really deciding what your life wants to look like and how you want to feel in the process. To me, inner peace has always been my number one priority and continues to be, even when launching my business. And I want you to know that it can be, because launching a business and sacrificing that is not worth it, because you are going to be so burnt out and hate your life. So when going back to what we were talking about before, lifestyle, make sure that you're building your lifestyle, you're building your business around your lifestyle. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I started the ladies community and go into all the different things that I've learned along the way. And hopefully that will help you in your journey as well. And so when I first started TLC, I'm going to be completely honest and let you know that it happened completely by accident. And to me, this was a gift. And I'm going to tell you why. Because before starting TLC, I was always a very good student. I was always very good at having my business plan, knowing exactly what needed to happen. At least that's what I thought was best. Now, when the ladies community started, I was in a very deep self-development and growth phase, and my theme and goal was surrender. I had been living my entire life in complete anxiety, fear, worry, insecurities, because I was constantly focused on like go, 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 do, 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 do. If that makes sense. Anybody else feel the same way? And I was just completely drained, and inside I was not happy. I felt very sad, and I I knew something wasn't right. And so I really dove in to my self-development journey and knew that I wanted to surrender to what was possible. And whatever you're envisioning right now for your business, it is such a fine balance between strategy and surrender. And I'm going to explain why. Because what you envision based on your own experiences and what you already know. The ladies community, I never would have planned. And the reason it was such a gift and why I continue to lean into surrender is I do not know everything. I do not know how, I do not know what is going to be created. And I want to continue to kind of to balance on that teeter-totter so that I do not think that I know everything, and I am open to things that I do not know. I do not know how to build a multi-million dollar business. I can have advisors and coaches helping me along the way who have done so, but at the end of the day, I've never done it. And so it is new to me. And so I don't know how. And so there is an element of surrender in leaning into the uncertainty so that you are able to really make the next best decision. So often I see entrepreneurs getting so tunnel vision into how everything needs to happen and what they're going to do that they never listen to their customers, their clients, and they keep pushing. And instead, when I had started TLC, I was in a complete phase of surrender and just kept wanting to make the next best decision. And I'm going to tell you how I did that. So in the time that I had launched TLC, I had an events company. I was living in downtown Toronto. I was in my 30s and I was single, and these were not normal things. I did not have children. I was not married, and I didn't have a 9-to-5. I was not on the traditional trajectory of what it looked like to be a normal woman in society. And this is shifting and changing, but I definitely felt those pressures. Now, I knew that I felt very alone and isolated in this journey. And I knew that if I did, other people did too. So my first step was I just wanted to meet other people in the city who were also creating their own path. And I wanted to share love, and I wanted to share peace, and I wanted to meet amazing women that we could inspire each other, change what it meant to be friends with one another, and change how women had relationships together so that we could actually support and be happy for one another. That was it. So in me doing so, I connected with other women and told them, hey, I'm going to have a meetup. Just bring your friends. And I brought friends, they brought friends. Within a couple months, just by having meetups, I had over 100 women at each of these meetups. From there, I just kept making the next best decision. Then the women said, oh, we want to meet more often. We want to do different things. So I continued to service that. And then we wanted to integrate more business and education and information. So I continued to do that. And it just continued to grow from there. So I just kept making the next best decision. And this was right for me because it allowed me to get out of my own way. And I continue to believe that there is a way to build a business while getting out of my own way and having this element of surrender. So the biggest thing now, as I continue to tell you how TLC evolved, I'm going to throw in tips along the way. So TLC had started, I was creating these meetups, and I guess about 6 months in, I had met this awesome woman, Alyssa Coleman. You can look her up. She's amazing. And she goes, okay, great. Do you have a MailChimp account or a ConvertKit? Do you have emails for these people? I was like, emails? No, TLC happened completely by accident. So it was good for me that TLC happened by accident because it enabled me to surrender to how I could be of service to others. But then I didn't always have the business strategy, so I kind of had to keep up. So my first tip to you, I've given you some already, but straight business advice is you need a mailing list, an email list. Your email list is gold. If you have not started already, get a free MailChimp account and start your email list. And then I'm going to share with you some ways to get there, but This email list is what you're going to be able to sell, who you're going to be able to sell to, survey to, get more information. So even within our Facebook community, Instagram, however you're building, if you're building a community, you need their emails. This is still my number one priority. And when I work with partners and clients, number one thing, you need email list. You need people's email addresses to continue to communicate to them, to continue to serve them. Now you can build your list growth. You can have a simple newsletter link on your website. This is very, very basic. This is not enough. People don't really care to sign up for newsletters anymore. I think about you. Would you just sign up for someone's newsletter? Normally you don't. Normally someone gets your email address by offering a freebie or an opt-in. So for example, on TLC, you go to theladiescommunity.com. We have a VIP offer at the top, and it's your top 5 tips to networking. So I highly recommend creating an opt-in or a freebie that gives people a call to action so that you can easily get their email address without just asking them to sign up. You want to continue to provide value in order to get their information. You can also do free webinars. You can do live events, an online summit or show. You can also do collaborations. Now, if this is specifically your goal is to continue to increase your email list, most of these are best free. So same with webinars, same with live events. You want to get people's email addresses so that you can upsell them later. And we'll continue to talk about sales funnels and what that looks like. But if it's specifically for list growth, I highly recommend not to get really caught up in charging for webinars up front or charging for events up front. Really look at your business strategy where you're at, because if you're able to have a huge list, hear me out. If you're able to have a huge list, you can then offer your list, let's say a package that's $15,000, $25,000. And if you get 3 people to buy a big package, that's $75,000, as opposed to getting multiple people spending $11, $25, whatever that is. So if you're strictly looking at cash flow and actually building a business, looking at your list growth and then exactly what you are offering. So I think so many people get really caught up in like this small amount of money. I am telling you, you will not really make a lot of money from just webinars and just events. You really need to look at your entire business strategy and your revenue model. If you need help with this, we can chat about this later, as well as online shows and summits and collaborations. You can help people. You can get people to help you funnel people into these list growth strategies, and we can chat more about that. I also put a picture here of the cell phone, like the phone and the email. A lot of people are also now getting phone numbers. Now we haven't gotten to this part yet, but it's definitely on the front burners for me. But looking at getting people's phone numbers so you can text people. This is really personal and a really good sales tactic to help maintain contact with your people and just continuing to get people into your sales funnel. So that is really popular right now. Phone numbers, do not let that one go. So all of this list growth is really now bringing you into lead generation. And then we're going to talk about sales funnel. So when you look at your business strategy, really look at your lead generation and where people are coming from is the biggest thing. I'm going to go to this slide. See, it's the biggest thing on the top. So that's why I'm saying if you're doing webinars or events, looking at the pricing structure and where does this sit on the sales funnel? Is your webinar or event specifically to bring people in as lead generation, or is it something that is brought in as sales at the bottom? So really looking at the difference and understanding what is this bringing into my business and where is this in my sales funnel? So really understanding, how are people contacting me? How am I getting people into this sales funnel? Where are they coming from? Who is that target demographic and how am I getting them into this sales process? and really sitting down and understanding what is your sales process in order to get them down to the sale. I think too often here it becomes really convoluted and unclear. And so when people enter your organization or your company, they don't know where to go next. And if you don't know where they're going next, then they don't know where they're going next. So, for example, setting up a very clear process of this is how I bring in my leads. Then from there, this is what I want them to do. I want them to engage in a survey, or I want them to engage in a free webinar, whatever. You want to continue to provide value. And then from there, you want to get them into some sort of sales cycle, whether that's through a phone call, whether you're selling them a product, a service, or an offering. Is this making sense? Really looking at that sales funnel. And I think so often people get really caught into making what they think is fast cash, and they put those events and webinars and charging for things a little bit too early, when really they need that email list in order to get there. If you ladies can comment in the discussion, what's the size of your current email list? Does anyone have an email list of 5,000 or more? Anyone in here? Under 5,000? Under, right. So if we're under 5,000, I would recommend, and what I would have done differently is really focusing on this lead generation so that I can continue to have higher ticket items and continue to strengthen my sales funnel and my offering. And we'll get there. So something that I want to put in here as well, because I don't believe that I put a slide in for it, but really getting down to who is your target demographic and who are you serving. So often people get really confused in this process and want to offer too much. And I know Marketing 101, they're always looking at who are you targeting, but I'm going to emphasize that again here. It'll probably come up a little bit later when we're talking about community as well and Facebook groups, but I just want to throw it in here too, because you really want to understand how that person acts, what they do, and what they need in order to serve them better. Okay, so in this sales process, you have your lead generation. Now, call to action is really important. Now, this I wish I knew earlier, and your call to action is implemented in every step of the process. You really want people to get very used to messaging you, reaching out, engaging with you, doing things, so that it's not a passive relationship with your clients, but a really great continuous engagement. High engagement means higher sales in the most part. I'm throwing some things out there, but let's just make that assumption, because most of the time when people are higher engaged, you're top of mind, they're more likely to purchase from you and you to receive a sale from them. You want them very engaged in your community, your product, your service. This can be done in multiple ways. This can get done through your newsletters, Instagram, social. Now, these are also linking together, and I'm going to explain why. Your call to action can also be an effective way to get people into your email list. Does that make sense? Once people are on your email list, the call to action doesn't stop. You still want them engaging and acting within your community. This can be done by getting them to DM you on Instagram and social media, literally telling them, and I have different Instagram techniques that I can share with you from some of my advisors. Craig Ballantyne, his Instagram course is awesome. Sarah, the stretch therapist, is also launching an Instagram course. Call to action is huge on all of your posts, on all of your stories, getting people to DM you and message you saying, yes, I'm looking for this, or DM me coaching if you're interested in coaching, DM me hair if you want more information on how to make your hair look pretty. Whatever your product is, always be thinking call to action. How do I get my people to engage? Surveys are also awesome. Now, again, you can see all of this linking, and we'll link again when we come back to community. Surveying your people is so important. Knowing who are you serving? What do they want? If you're not serving the people that you really want to be engaging in, where is my marketing a little bit off? Why am I not getting the people who I want to be attracting, who I want to purchase my product? Are these people purchasing my product? We survey all the time. And if you notice, even within our Facebook group, every week we're asking questions. What are your struggles? What are you going through? How can we help you? What do you need? What is keeping you up at night? Really, really understanding your people keeps them engaged and also helps you to better service your audience. If you want more help with how to survey and how to do these call to actions and what kind of questions, let me know, DM me, and I will help you out. See, I just did a call to action there. Didn't even mean to. You can also offer free consultations. Again, this is getting your leads into now selling clients. You can do phone calls. You can get them to book a one-on-one online. Now there are so many resources online that can help you. Calendly is a free calendar thing that you can use online to get people to book free consultations with you. You can get them to register for an event. Now, if they're already in your sales funnel and you're now converting leads into clients, registering for an event at this point after they're already in your sales funnel could be free, could be paid. Again, that's part of your strategy. And if you want to sit down and go through your strategy a little bit more, I can help you with that. Again, a call to action could be a download. This goes back to the freebies. Everything in this call to action can be done to bring people into your sales funnel or process people in your sales that are already in your sales funnel. Downloads and freebies just continue to provide value as well. It can help you to segment your email list. So you can then within your email list find out who's interested in health and wellness, who's interested in business, who's interested in holiday stuff. You can look at what people want to know so that you can better service them and you can better build offerings to service your clients. Make sense? Okay. So then here we go, talking engagement. These are all different ways that you can engage with your people. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, email, newsletters. With newsletters, we often get asked, how often are you going to send out a newsletter? What's your content going to be? This varies depending on people's business. Some people send out a newsletter once a month, some people once a week, some once a day. Think about what you want and how often you want being communicated to via your email, and do something similar to that. We also get questions from clients often about, should my newsletters be really long and like a blog or short? And again, that's your style. That could be a good survey question, asking your clients what they want and what they need and what is your personal style. I personally never read blog posts, like emails that are really, really long. My one friend, we were just talking about this when we were building her strategy. She loves the long ones. And so that's more her strategy. So really just thinking there is no right answer, just tuning in to your target demographic and who you are to make sure that that comes together. Video, here's texting again. So you have to have their phone number in order to text with them. Podcasts, mail outs. We send, if you are an online queen or a paying TLC member, we send everyone a handwritten card. We've got so many good feedback responses from these handwritten cards. I'm telling you, little things matter. We also send holiday cards and birthday cards, things like that. So making those personal touches throughout will really help to build that engagement. I do want to mention something here about YouTube and podcasts. YouTube channels, podcasts are so popular now. Every single person wants to launch a podcast and wants to do something. One of my advisors says this very well. There's two types of entrepreneurs, and oftentimes there's the one entrepreneur that always is following the shiny new object, okay? And then there's the entrepreneur that actually makes money and brings in sales. When you are first launching your business, 80% of your time is on sales, if not more, because you need to build that sales funnel so that you're not worried about money, you're bringing in fast cash and then you can actually focus on building your business. I wish I had focused on sales a lot earlier to save myself a lot of stress. I also was a little bit of the shiny object entrepreneur, like, oh, I'm going to launch a podcast. Oh, I'm going to do this. These are things that you feel are providing more value, but they're not bringing in revenue. We need to think about being serious business women and building revenue so that you are sustainable for the long haul. Podcasts and YouTube, if this is part of your major strategy that's going to bring you leads and bring in sales and revenue, okay, that's something to think about. However, you do not have to do all of this at once, and often takes up so much time for very little benefit. So really, really evaluate podcasts and YouTube. We do some YouTube. However, you want to do something that you can repurpose. So if you're going to do YouTube, if you're going to do Instagram or IGTV, make sure you can repurpose this information across all your platforms. So now we're turning our webinars into YouTube, our webinars into little clips that we can put on IGTV, on Instagram. So we're only doing the work once, but we can do it on multiple platforms. This engagement part can take up like 90% of your time and bring in no sales. So really just be serious and sit down with your strategy and think about what will actually benefit you. My advisors are like, as much as I want to right now start a podcast, my advisors are like, no way. This is not the time for you right now. And you can do it at a later time should you feel fit. So we always need those people to kind of keep us in check. Now, coming into community. A lot of people are talking about Facebook communities, all of that sort of jazz. I could talk about this for a long time. I'm going to try to make it quick. But our community, so within TLC, I had started events. They were free events, and then started a Facebook community. Now, again, looking at our strategy, I wish I had captured emails a lot sooner. Communities are great for engagement. They're great for surveying. They're great for really understanding your target demographic and also helping to understand what is your offering and what are you going to provide. Managing communities is also a very real thing. This is not easy. And I don't want to say that to deter you, because communities are amazing. The future in our businesses and the success of our businesses, I believe right now, are based on how effectively we can build communities online and in person. So live events, webinars, online stuff continue to bring communities together. The loyalty, we need community in our lives. So I'm not deterring you away from this. But when you build a Facebook group, an Instagram, all of that, make sure that you have a way to engage and capture emails, as well as being very intentional. What is my community going to be about? What am I going to allow? What am I not going to allow? Communities can be very difficult to manage because many people feel like you're supposed to run your community in a certain way. We have been, and I have been very intentional with the Facebook group continuously. And I'm always reevaluating. What are our guidelines? What are our rules? What will we allow? What will we not allow? What do I want the Facebook group to look like? What does the community want the Facebook group to look like? So just being very intentional about this is really important. However, your community and other people's communities are a great way for you to continue to get lead generation. Don't be afraid to collaborate with other communities as well. If you're feeling hesitant to collaborate with other communities because you're thinking, oh my goodness, this might be a conflict of interest, this is a great time to turn inward, look internally, and really look at a limiting belief that you might have. So it's really important to see communities as an opportunity of abundance and knowing that we can create more together and we do not need to compete against one another. But also looking at what communities you are collaborating with, making sure that it's mutually beneficial so that you can both be supporting each other. When you build a community, a lot of people may come to you as to, how they think you should run the community or wanting you to promote their products and services. Really understanding when it's mutually beneficial is really important. And I highly, highly recommend this. If you want to chat more about communities and Facebook communities, I leave some time in the Q&As or we can chat one-on-one later. This is a highly effective way to build your business, but again, always bringing it back to the emails and engagement. Okay, is this making sense? I'm just trying to connect everything together. Now, going into past our communities, how we built TLC in the beginning was through referrals, online Facebook groups, as well as online apps to meet friends. Now, the invite and the ask is really important in multiple stages of your sales funnel. Number one, getting people into the community is really important, but then also getting them into the sales funnel is really important, and actually making the sale. So this invite and ask process comes up many times. This goes into the sales process that we will also talk about. As women, we naturally have a little bit of a harder time with this ask part and the sales part. And so just a story of when last year we were doing a sales workshop for the ladies community. I was trying to find a sales expert who was a woman, and it was impossible to find. So know that if you're hesitant to ask for money, ask for the sale, ask for the invite, this is normal and is a little bit harder for women. However, this is your chance to really step up, push through that, and learn and perfect this stage. Because if you cannot ask, you cannot invite, and you cannot make the sale, then you will not be able to bring in revenue into your business. So this is huge. You do not need to be pushy to ask for the sale and to ask for the invite. This is definitely a mindset shift. So if things are coming up for you in this process, I highly recommend getting a coach, getting an advisor throughout to help you, because this will definitely hold you back in your growth and scaling your business. So some of my tips for the invite and the ask. I'm going to also give you an example. So when I was first building TLC, and when we go out to different cities, we go to different networking events, we go into different Facebook groups, as well as online platonic friend apps, and invite people to come out to our events or free webinars. Now, I've done this with multiple people in multiple cities, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. So I've done this with people at the same time. We were having an event in LA, and I was doing invites with somebody else. We had both apparently invited the same amount of people. We're on inviting people for the same amount of time. I filled the event and they got none. Yet we were apparently doing the same thing. So if this stage is not working for you, this invite, little modifications in your ask are necessary. And the first thing I want you to look at is energy. It is so important for your energy and your intention to be in the right place. If you're just looking for the sale and you're not coming from a place of service and offering value, that person will feel it. Okay? So I would need you to be really real in that stage of the energy and intention part. Because when clients come to me and they're in this like asking, inviting stage, some nail it and some do nothing and can't invite anybody, and nobody comes to their events. We have to be really real and see what are you bringing to the table in this step that may be preventing you and your business from moving forward. And a lot of that has to do with mindset. I'm going to go into some examples once I finish this list as to how I invited people and what I said. But number one is I always kept it really personal. Had a very clear intention of what I was wanting them to do. I was very clear, very simple, keeping it short. And I always asked a question that they could answer. So for example, my opening line was not a sales pitch. It literally said, "Hey love, I'm really excited to building a group of amazing women. Are you interested in joining?" Okay, that may or may not work for you depending on how you're inviting people to join your community, to join your lead generation or your sales funnel. But again, it was personal, it was specific, it was clear, it was very simple, and I asked a question, a yes or no answer. You want them to respond. Some people would say, yes, 100%, how do I sign up? What is this? Other people would say, well, it depends, what is it? Then you can give more information. So often in this invite and ask, people's messages look like this. Hey, Veronica, I am starting a women's community. We are having a webinar next Thursday at 7 p.m. I would like to invite you. Here's the information. There was no ask, there was no invite. It just sounded like if you were to get that in your text, in your direct message, on your Instagram, I'd just blow right by it. But you want it to be personal. Think about how you would message a friend and make it very friendly, short, very simple. You could also say like, hey, love your Instagram, love your vibe. I'd love to connect and see how we can collaborate. Again, very short. Are you interested? Right? So very short with a call to action so that they are saying yes or no. Is this making sense? I hope this is helping. If you want to send me some of your templates, often what I do with clients is go through their templates and look at what do your messages look like? How can we shorten them? Most of my suggestions when I'm working with clients is shorten it, cut your current message into 2, and ask a question in there. So look at any of your templates of how you're networking right now. If none of this stuff is making sense to you, we can definitely chat more about business strategy and where your next steps are. If you're not there yet, that's cool too. But I hope this helps when you are networking and inviting people and asking people to join your sales funnel, your community, and or asking them to make the sale. Okay, so when you are building your community, we often call this networking. There are many different ways to do that, most of which I've already mentioned. So number one, looking at your personal development and personal growth as you're networking is so important. If you want to learn more how to network, how to make more friends, how to meet more people as an adult, I also did a free webinar about this, which I will link below when I publish this, and I'll follow up with an email to you ladies who are on now live so that you can look at that networking webinar and go through some of that personal growth as well. If you are attracting the wrong people into your life, that's okay. It just means you're not necessarily there yet. So whatever you are seeing is a direct mirror and is just telling you that is awesome. I still need to raise my vibration. I still need to step into my CEO role in order to meet what I envision for my business. Collaborations are amazing. We can chat a little bit more about collaborations and how to ask and different formats. At the bottom, like webinars, events, virtual summits, those are amazing ways to collaborate. That way you're also sharing between different email lists and continuing to grow your business. Asking for referrals. TLC has specifically grown to date mostly through referrals. We have never paid for marketing, and people just continue to invite their friends and family to the ladies community. So that's what you want. Marketing and paying for ads is not necessary in the beginning. There are so many things that I've mentioned here, webinars, live events, virtual summits, collaborations that are free marketing initiatives. And so often people get really caught up in paying for ads before they need to. So don't worry too much about that up front. There are many ways to getting lead generation without paying for sales. Bumble and friend online platonic apps. There's many, Havina, Bumble. There's a few out there. If you know more, you can put them in the chat box. Again, Facebook communities and live and virtual events. Okay, so change is coming and it's important that we acknowledge it. Whether you are working a business or not, the majority of people are going to be forced into being entrepreneurs. Most of the workforce is changing with AI, and just the industries are changing, and the work that is necessary to get done is changing. There are more entrepreneurs than ever, and the more people looking to become entrepreneurs. So you being on this call and listening to this webinar right now means you're already ahead of the curve. So getting your email list, getting all of this done so that you are set as the economy continues to change. Oh, excuse me. This will also set you up. Lots of people are talking about recessions coming. entrepreneurs can still succeed in recessions. So don't worry, all of these things will set you up for success moving forward. Again, creating things that work without you, so that even if there are things that are changing in our economy, you are still making money without working and not trading your time for money. There's also a huge push into community, which we've already discussed, online, which we know and see, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts. These are all online virtual tools that businesses are using and are needing to adapt to. As entrepreneurs, we can adapt to this material so much faster. When I'm dealing with sponsors, whether it be a large corporation or a small independent entrepreneur, the entrepreneurs are so much more mobile and can adapt so much quicker than these larger companies, which is a huge benefit for all of us. It also helps us to go international and scale a lot faster. So I hope by using these tools and techniques that I'm talking about today, you can build an international brand if that's what you want, to help you scale, create revenue faster, and help more people faster. Okay, so as we go through community, lead generation, our sales funnel, towards the end, we get to the sale and the offer. Now, building your offer is really important to align with your business strategy. Looking at, do you want to have many sales at a lower price point or less sales at a higher price point? So really understanding your revenue streams and knowing what your offer is really important. If you are a coach or someone that offers a product, service, whatever, making your offer very simple. So a couple tips. You want a simple offering. You don't want to have too many options. If you have too many options, people get confused. So this can be really fun when you're building your offer. I was actually at a seminar a few weeks ago that went over some tips of how to build your offer, and I'm going to share them with you right now. So have fun, get a few friends together, and get creative. Think about all of the awesome, amazing things someone could want in your industry. So I'm going to give an example. So the example we did at the seminar was a coach in the health and wellness industry. Kind of broad, but also lots of opportunity. So literally we wrote out 50 different things, like a hormone specialist, UV healing, Reiki, a virtual running club, like anything possible. Don't judge any of your ideas. And then at the end, we circled between 5 to 8 different items to create a bundle, an offer, a package. Okay. So once we got this, we had created a $25,000 package that we were selling for 15. Now, within this business strategy, her strategy was to sell less packages, less offerings for a higher price point. Now, if you have an email list of 20,000 plus, the chances of getting 2, 3, 4 people to buy a $15,000 package, your odds are pretty good, right? And so really making sure we're aligning our lead generation with our offer and making it very simple. Is this making sense? And knowing your businesses, and when we go through the different businesses, if you want to have a one-on-one call, I can help you with this, but really going through what is your sales strategy, what is your sales funnel, what are your revenue streams look like, and what are your specific offers, making them very simple, very clear. The confused mind does not buy. Now, we've gone into like what we're doing, what we're offering, how we're offering it. We've kind of talked about through the sales funnel, through Instagram, different social. I'm going to touch a little bit more on how after this. We're going to get into the sales calls and some sales strategies if it applies to your business. But I do want to focus on why. This is from Simon Sinek. This is the golden circle, the power of why. Start with why. Knowing your why. Knowing your why ties back to what we were talking about in the beginning of this presentation of your story. I love when I do these webinars that everything is always connected. It kind of seems like a little bit of a of a spider web, but it just makes sense because everything's connected together. So doing these small chunks of homework and going through this really helps to propel your business forward because it's all woven together. If you miss one chunk, then you're losing sales and they're just draining through. So really knowing your why. Why are you doing this? What is your story? So what I recommend is doing a journal exercise and writing out, what are my defining moments in my life? What has my life looked like? What have my experiences looked like? And really get clear on your story. Right now in social media, newsletters, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, and however you're engaging with your community, with your clients, vulnerability is key. Making sure that people can relate to you, they know your story, they understand you. This makes the whole sales process so much easier because it doesn't seem phony. You truly want to help them based on your experiences. Chances are whatever you're offering is because of an experience that you've had that you know there is a need. So really communicating your story through your branding, through your messaging, your newsletters, everything is tied together so that people understand who you are, who is your brand, and what is your offering. And knowing that you believe what you're offering will shine through in your sales and in your sales process. Okay, so we talked about why. We're going to come back to how. And this I talked about before, but really there's this element of building your strategy and also surrendering when you build your how. It's always a little bit of a balancing act for me as an entrepreneur because surrender is so important to me and something that I really believe we need to talk more about. But there is still some strategy in place. So what I do, some techniques that I do to help me with that balance. Number one, I create a to-do list. And if you know Abraham Hicks or have read the Ask and It Is Given book by Abraham and Esther Hicks and Esther's husband, Jerry Hicks, they suggest writing a to-do list. Now, I'm going to be very specific about this to-do list. You're going to have 2 columns, okay? At the top of one column is me, okay? On top of the other column is universe, the to-do list for the universe. And this has helped me so much. On the me side of my to-do list, I write what I have to do in that day. Usually, if we're being really realistic with ourselves, there's like 1 or 2 things on that have to do today. Like for example, today I needed to send out the webinar link to make sure people could get on their webinar, and I needed to get on my webinar, right? We make things a lot more complicated than it needs to be. It's maybe 1 email that you need to send out, a phone call that you need to have. Be easier on yourself and write what you actually have to do on your side. Everything else goes on the universe list. As soon as I did this, this alleviated so much pressure from my day. It allowed me to follow inspired action as opposed to forced action. Because when I was done, the 1, 2 items on the me side, I ended up, looking at the universe side and thinking, what do I want to do? What can I do? What am I drawn to do today in order to continue to move my business forward? This also put out the energy that the rest of the list could get done without me. And so many items on the universe side, no joke. This is a mindset thing and a spiritual thing and routine thing. But so many of the items on the universe side actually got completed, and it was awesome. So loved it. But there's so many tips of how to build this strategy and surrender. I also build a strategic plan, obviously, for my business, look at my revenue structure and all of that. But then on a daily basis, I'm always leaning into the surrender through my daily routines. In the morning, I do movement, I do meditation, journaling, reading, also visualizations. It doesn't need to take 2 hours. It can take literally 15 minutes, making sure that you get into the right alignment. So when you execute your strategy, it's coming from a good energy and a place of solid intention, of service, helping others, and inspired action as opposed to forced action. Is this resonating with anyone or any entrepreneurs? Because I know it's a very hot topic for entrepreneurs and something that we feel every day, especially as women. Okay, so we're going into how, and we're going to go into some sales calls. So after this, we're going to be finishing up soon and we'll get into the Q&A, which is awesome. I'm really kind of speeding through this in order to give you ladies as much information as possible. In your sales calls, these are some of the questions I ask. If you do sales calls, awesome. If not, this may or may not apply. However, many of these questions are great survey questions, as well as great content questions to relate to your audience, getting to understand your audience, and also communicating to them effectively through social media or your newsletters. It's really important to know where is your client at, okay? What is their vision for themselves? What are their current struggles and problems that are preventing them from getting from where they're at to their vision? And what is getting in their way? By really outlining these two places and getting them to envision it, communicate it to you, understand it, you can then better understand, are you the bridge that will bring these two together, or are you not? And that's where I believe you do not need to be pushy. Understanding where they're at and what is their vision, you can properly understand, can you provide that value to get them to their next stage or not? And totally no pressure, but also helping to paint that picture for them so that if you are the solution, they see you as that solution. So when I'm on a call with people one-on-one, I actually ask them these questions. I also try to engage in these questions through marketing, our freebies, our opt-ins, and you can see how now it's all connecting together. Helping them to understand what is getting in their way and why they haven't gotten to their vision is really important. Also knowing, coming back to the Simon Sinek power of why, starting with why, knowing what their why is. Why is it important to them to get to their vision? Why do they want to get there? Who were they doing it for? And this last question is really important. What has not doing that and getting to their vision, what has it cost them? And I'm going to ask you these questions also. Where are you at right now? You can make little jot notes if you want. What is your vision? What are your current struggles, challenges, and problems? What is getting in your way to get to your vision? Why is it important to you that you get to this vision? Who are you doing it for? And what has not doing this cost you? Physically, mentally, emotionally? And when you go through all of these sales questions and processes, these are great to help getting people to a call to action. A couple other items that are awesome to getting people to a call to action, obviously a bonus offer and creating some sort of urgency. This can be done by a limited offering. For example, you have 5, 10, 1 spot available, or a timeline that you have this specific bonus or this specific offer that is being offered for a specific amount of time that they need to take advantage of. And if some of you have sales calls and or have been in sales, this may be familiar to you. Okay, so throughout this whole process and when building your business, your support and your network is going to be very important. This is going back to the beginning of our presentation, knowing that some of your support network is going to change, but also making sure that you have coaches, advisors, other entrepreneurs that will help you along your journey. You do not need to figure it out all on your own, and it is not necessary. Just learn from others. So making sure that you create your own board of advisors. I highly recommend after this presentation thinking about, who do I need in my network? Who do I need as my board of advisors? An accountant, a lawyer, a coach, other entrepreneurs, whatever that is. Also looking at, who do you have at your current level? Who do you have that's ahead of you? And who do you have that's a little bit behind you? The little bit behind you also helps because you're that person ahead of them. So you can continue to pay it forward and help other people that are helping you. or help other people because other people are helping you. This is also linked to my networking webinar that I will send you. So looking at who you need in your network is really important. I also want to help provide that support to you. So if going through this webinar and presentation, you've thought to yourself, like, I have no idea what she's talking about. I have no idea how to build these things. I don't know how to build a summit. I don't know how to build an email list. I don't know what an opt-in is. I'm like so confused and so overwhelmed. Number one, I want you to know that that's normal. When my friend Alyssa Coleman had asked me if I had started an email list, I was like mortified. And when she was telling me to build sales funnels and opt-ins and email like automations, I had no idea what she was talking about. And I was so overwhelmed and kind of sat there and was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this. But it is okay. It is normal. When you're starting new things, it's okay to be kind of lost and to not know how. Again, part of that is the surrender. So really leaning into people that do know, that have accomplished those things, that have tried them, and really figuring out what works best for you. A little bit of trial and error helps. But I am also going to offer you, ladies, for being here, for listening to this, I'm offering a 90-day VIP coaching program. So what I do in this coaching program is it is 3 months. It is 8 sessions. So we do 3 weeks on, 1 week off. You have a weekly coaching call, 45-minute coaching call every week. So 3 in a month. And then I also give you 1 VIP strategy day. This is a 3-hour session where I dive deep with you into your business strategy, building out your revenue streams, building out your action steps and your action plan to actually execute, to launch your business, to grow your business wherever you're at and whatever your goals are right now. This I also have noticed, and this may or may not be a fit for you, but I do business coaching as well as mindset coaching. Like I said in the beginning of this presentation, when you are launching your business, every fear, insecurity, and worry and stress is magnified. So helping you along that with some mindset coaching, I have found to be very, very valuable. As well, I throw in a TLC Online Queen membership. What this means is you get all of our webinars for free. You also get all of our webinar playbacks for free. So if you can't make it or you miss it, you get the recordings. You also get live event discounts, and you'll also be a founding member when we launch our app this year. A bonus is if you are launching a company or a service or a product that aligns with the TLC vision, I can also incorporate you as a TLC partner opportunity and give you some trial and error to practice some of your messaging and give you some information because really it's a win-win. You're providing more value for the TLC community, and then you're also practicing and getting some benefit by getting people into your community as well. So I currently now have 5 spots available to start in November, December, or the new year to do one-on-one coaching. If you are interested in this, let me know. And if you just want more information, that is totally fine. Go into Instagram, go on my Instagram. I am Vanessa O, and DM me the word coaching. I will give you more information. We can hop on a free one-on-one consultation coaching call. If you want to do a one-on-one free call and you're not sure if you're interested in 90-day VIP coaching, that's okay too. Send me a message on Instagram, follow me, DM me, and then we can chat more. Because my goal, like I've said before, I know that you have something to offer the world. I know that what you have to say is important. Your product, your service, your business is here to change the world. And if you only change one person, that is okay. Part of my routine, in my morning routine, I say to myself, how can I make one person's life better today? So if I can help you make one person's life better today, I'm just so excited to help you help more people. And that is part of the reason that I started TLC, because I want to be able to support other women who have a goal to spread love and happiness and be of service in the world. I also want to be able to support you to break through your limiting beliefs. And I want you to know that you are not alone on your journey. I felt so alone on my journey and have had so much of my own insecurities come up and have had to figure it out a lot on my own. And I want you to be able to succeed faster and not go through some of the things I had to go through. I know it is your journey, but I want to be able to help you get there smoother and faster so that you break through those limiting beliefs and those challenges faster than I was able to. So honestly, DM me, pull out your phone now, go to I am Vanessa O, and send me a DM. Oh, we're getting some chats in here. Okay. So we're getting some questions coming in. So we are almost done, which is great. So follow me on Instagram, follow the ladies community. We also at theladiescommunity.com, if you haven't seen already, we have weekly webinars similar to this. Every week I bring on an expert to talk about something different. So this week we have someone coming in, Dr. Laura Bellis is coming on to talk about hormones. This is something I have been very passionate about on my health journey, is figuring out my hormones, figuring out my PMS, and my digestion, food, all that jazz, because I want to be, and I take very seriously being my best self in order to better serve my community. Then we also have on Wednesday, we have Ashley Froze from Froze Law going to be telling you what do you need to know legally in order to launch your business in Canada, in the US, internationally, whatever your goals are, so that she can give you all of that to make sure that you're protected personally and professionally. So these are just a couple examples of webinars that we do weekly. And if you're an online Queen member, you get these for free. If not, join. It's literally $11 a month. And you get all your free webinars and all your free playbacks. We're always bringing in industry experts to make sure we're continuing to serve you. And we make sure to give you information on your social life, your business, as well as your personal growth. So I hope you guys love our webinars. If you want more information and you want us to bring in specific experts, let me know. DM me on Instagram as well. And we can do custom webinars that you think will be a good fit for you and your business. And then we also have live events. So our next live event, we just had one this past week. On Thursday, we did a Come As You Will Be in 5 years party, which was so fun. We had ladies come with Golden Globes and books and tons of things that they're going to accomplish in the next 5 years. As well, on November 2nd, I'm having a full workshop, mindset day. And so we're going through all of my tips and routines. We're going to dive deep into relationships, platonic, as well as romantic, as well as career and self. So looking at different routines to help you hack your mindset. Business is strategy. Very simply put, business is easy. It's the mindset that's going to hold you back. So really making sure that you take that very seriously. Enter the mental Olympics. Start now, honestly, because your business needs you. And so come join us November 2nd. I'll send that information out, or you can go onto our website, theladiescommunity.com, and go under events, and you can see our live event and sign up for our online or our live November 2nd event. So I'm going to now head into questions. So I want to be cognizant of time. So we're going to do questions for about 10 minutes. So we have some questions coming up. Thanks for sharing all those tips. I hope they help, Justine. What is the biggest challenge when you're hosting a TLC event? Good question. So one of my biggest challenges for TLC events is deciding still, is it going to be a charged event where I'm providing value and servicing our members, or is it a lead generation event that is free? Now, with free events, you also have to know half the people sign up and don't show up. This can sometimes be a challenge with your venues. So knowing what your costs are and making sure that you meet your costs. So really keeping costs down. I have a lot of tips to keep your costs down for events. So the sponsors, venues, even how you word it, how you pitch your events to your venues. I can help you more with this. If you ladies want some more information, message me. We can have a chat about that. And then with your live events and paid events, again, knowing what your costs are and what is your strategy. knowing also how often you want to do your events. So in the beginning of the ladies community, we had 3 to 5 events a month per city. This was exhausting and was really so it was a lot of work. I also was able to only put on smaller events, and the amount of capacity it took to put these on were preventing me from moving my business forward. Since then, I have now stepped back on the events. We're doing less events, but higher quality so that we can continue to provide more value. So again, this comes back to strategy. What is your event strategy? Are you looking at it for revenue, lead generation, how often, and what are your costs associated with that? So your second question are, what would be the 5 tips you would recommend to create a successful event? Number 1, low cost, 100%. Number 2 is, I would say theme is important to me. I really want people to have like a unique experience. I also did a little bit of a different strategy with events. I created very simple events. I wanted to provide value, but make it very simple. If you start bringing in like sponsors and food and all this for every event, you're going to have to do it all the time. So really look at what kind of event experience do you have as women, and I'm only speaking as a woman because I'm a woman, that's all I know. But we're always looking to like over deliver. Oh, they need food and they need drinks and they need this and they need that. Really look at what do they actually need in order to get a good experience. Like we're always spoon feeding everyone like, oh, we have to set up games and we have to set up this. Going back to the invite and your ask, your energy is what matters. You need to make sure you're bringing your best self. A lot of that other stuff doesn't matter. Like we built TLC. We have now almost 20,000 members internationally, and we just started talking to sponsors. And maybe that's not smart. I would have talked to sponsors earlier, 100%. However, we were also having so many events that it wasn't really feasible. So again, I'd do less events, better events, and not worry about making them like so complicated. It's okay. You want to make sure at events that people have really good experiences, that they're coming back. It's also an energy thing. Knowing, we also like hug everyone when they walk in the door, really knowing what kind of energy do you want, making sure that your venue aligns with your energy and your brand, and that there's consistency in the event and what you're offering. So we don't have events in pubs. That's just not our brand. So a lot of people in the community will ask for things, but always asking yourself, is this on brand? Is this what we want to do with our brand and the people we want to service? I hope that helps with some of the event questions. Justine, let me know if you have more questions with regards to the events. Susan, what is the cost of coaching, and what if we need to miss a week? Totally cool if you need to miss a week, not a big deal. Your coaching is one-on-one, completely custom. DM me and we'll chat. I'll send you all the costs. I don't want to say it now because this is recorded and my costs might change once I get the 5 people. So I don't want it recorded, but DM me and we'll chat about the coaching for sure. Okay, awesome. Any other questions? We have a couple minutes, but we're finishing on time, which I love. I love staying on time. And actually, we totally went over. Normally, our webinars go from 7:30 to 8:30, and it's 8:30 now. So we totally went over this webinar, but I hope you ladies got all of your information that you needed, because normally it's only an hour. So thank you for being here. I'm going to finish up since we're at an hour and a half and I totally didn't even notice. Thanks so much, Susan. Honestly, ladies, I hope this helped you. I hope you have a fabulous Sunday night, and love you so much. We will chat soon. Let me know how I can help you. I really want you to succeed. I love you so much. I'm proud of you. Keep doing your thing and have a fabulous week. Bye.